New research has just dropped comparing the deep stretch Bayesian curl to the preacher curl. While this article is not publicly available yet, I managed to get it sent to me early, and the results can be seen on the abstract on ResearchGate. This study was a randomized within participant design looking at the seated preacher curl versus the seated Bayesian cable curl, with the resistance profiles equated. The study also took into account each participant's individual anatomical structure, which was something previous studies on the subject failed to do. And as shown in the abstract, there was no statistical difference between growth in the two curls. This is a result that was honestly very predictable in my opinion. Despite what you may have seen on social media about any curls in the deep stretch position being supposedly the best for growth, this claim doesn't have as much evidence to it as people suggest. There's been a lot of studies comparing the preacher curl to slightly more lengthened position incline curls. These studies normally find superior distal growth for preacher curls or similar gains between the two lifts. There's also two more studies that compare the lengthened position to the shortened or mid position that also found similar gains. While I briefly showed this study earlier, I haven't seen a lot of people mention this one here on the mid position preacher curl to the lengthened position preacher curl that also found pretty similar gains between the two movements. So not only does the evidence point towards biceps not needing longer lengths, but I could also see the case being made that biceps can be trained just as well in the mid position as the lengthened position. While this paper may make it seem as if the biceps have their best relative leverage up to 70 degrees of flexion, the moment arms from this more recent paper with more cadavers, also from Murray and colleagues, found the moment arm for the brachioradialis is on average almost always larger than the biceps. But since leverages aren't always everything and just one piece of the puzzle, when we factor in muscle size, since the biceps are almost double the size of the brachioradialis on average, the biceps are still going to contribute the most force towards the movement, which is also what we can see of surface EMG data on this subject. Despite their leverages, EMG doesn't actually change too drastically across the joint angles, as it's still more efficient to recruit the biceps to generate the most force. In order to bias the brachioradialis more, we just need to mechanically disadvantage the other elbow flexors by pronating our hands. While I could be missing something here, most of the data seems to point towards the biceps being trained best with either a mid or lengthened position regardless of their resistance profiles. So while a mid position curl like this may look a little bit goofy, it's actually perfectly fine for growth, although a deeper range of motion may be better for tendon stiffness adaptations. So a mid position curl is perfectly fine, and so is a lengthened position curl. I'd personally just recommend the incorporation of both of them within your program to maximize hypertrophy. And that's everything you need to know about